Okay, we are moving right along here with our Chapter 5 practice test. We're on questions 7 and 8 now. So an event A will occur with a probability of 0.5, and an event B will occur with a probability of 0.6. The probability that both A and B will occur is 0.1. So for 7 and 8, I think the first thing that we're going to need to do is to find the conditional, let's just make sure we write this all down here. Um, the probability of A is equal to 0.5. The probability of B is equal to 0.6. And the probability of A and B is equal to 0.1. Now, this means that these two events are not mutually exclusive. Because if they were mutually exclusive, this probability would be equal to 0 by definition. So if we want to find the probability of A given B, probability of A given B, okay, and I always like to focus in on the second part of that, given B, because that tells me what I should be putting on the denominator, the probability of B. The numerator is always going to be the same. It's going to be those two probabilities together, so probability of A and B. So probability of A and B divided by the probability of B, that's 0.1 on top of the probability of B was 0.6, so that's just 1/6. So we're supposed to show that the events are dependent. Okay, so dependent means they're not independent. So this is going to be dependent means not independent. I'm going to start typing here. To show that we have independence means that we'd have to show that the probability of A is equal to the probability of A given B, and the probability of A given B complement. Anytime this is broken, anytime this is not equal, then we have dependent events. So let's figure this out. What's the probability of A? The probability of A was 0.5. And then the probability of A given B, we just figured that out. That's 1/6. So the probability of A was 0.5. We just found out that the probability of A given B is 1/6, or 0.1667. They are not equal to each other. Therefore, A and B are dependent. Now, for letter B, we have to show that they're not disjoint. And we can show disjoint means, by definition, the probability of A and B is equal to 0. However, we were told that the probability of A and B is 0.1. So since the probability of A and B is not equal to 0, A and B are not disjoint or mutually exclusive. Now the last part here, letter C, is we need to show that either A or B always occurs. And that statement is the same thing as saying that the probability of A complement and B complement has to be equal to 0. Maybe the easier way of saying this is that A or B always occurs if the probability of A or B is equal to 1. Yeah, that's definitely the best way of doing that. So since we have two events that are not disjoint, we're going to have to use the addition rule. The addition rule says that the probability of A or B is equal to probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. Since we have all of those probabilities, we'll just put our numbers into the formula. We have 0.5 plus 0.6 minus 0.1, and wouldn't you know it, that's equal to 1. So with 100% possibility, A or B is going to occur. So this is our questions 8, 7, and 8, and we'll see you next time when we continue our statistics chapter 5 practice test.